Yeah, alrighty. Picked up a new bottle jack yesterday from Harbor Freight, Horrible Freight, what some people call it. Been working with this jack. I think it's a 6 ton jack. That's max lift, but and that works fine for the little pickup or the car. Um, but I have two F350s now, um, and maybe potentially buying some equipment here this summer. That's just not big enough or really stable enough. You see my thumb in comparison to the piston size there. My hand in relation to the base. That's just not stable enough for picking up heavy stuff. So I picked up. This is a 20-ton Pittsburgh hydraulic jack. It's actually air hydraulic. This thing is fitting is bad. You press the button there, which is not plugged in now, but it's already, I've got it all maxed out, but press the button, it goes up. Which in some instances, it's nice that you're not having to crank it, but there's also the safety standpoint of it, because if you're questioning the stability of it, that's like a 3-foot hose on that thing, and you can jack it up without being underneath of it. But it still has the pump handle there on the side, and works just like a regular jack. Of course, and if you want to lower it, turn the handle like a regular jack, and the springs. We have some of these 20 and 30-ton jacks in our shop in Decatur, but they don't have these springs, and you about have to stand on them to get them to go down. And of course, that you just twist it, and that goes down. So there's that, and then while we were at Harbor Freight, I picked up some. These are ratchet wrenches, 3/8 up to 5/8, and I like these because the ratchet part of it is on a swivel there, which comes in handy sometimes. They had both, but for the money, I decided I'd just soon have them. And the ratchet part of it is super, super handy, especially when you're in tight spaces. But I got them, and then I got a new tire checker, pressure checker. The F350s, my dually, you have to have one like this to get to that dual tire. You actually hook the dual valve stem, and then the outside, you push on the outside one. But my F350s all run 80 to 100 psi in the tires. An irregular air pressure gauge, only for a car, only goes up to like 40 or 50 pounds. Maybe they go up to 60. I don't know, but they don't go up as high as 80, which is what my F350 pickup is. And then my dually, they hold 100. And then I picked up these as well. These are heat shrink tubing. So for electrical, especially for automotive, you don't really need this for interior wiring on your house. Just use a wire nut. But for electric, automotive or trailers, heavy equipment, anything that's exposed to the elements, just slide this over one side of the wire before you twist it together. Twist your wires together, pull this whichever size tube over the connection, and use a heat gun, a lighter. I actually have a little butane torch that I use. You don't want to put it right on it, but just enough heat, just a little bit of heat, and this will shrink, and that connection, you can't pull it apart. It might say on here how much pulling. I'm not seeing if it has a max. I don't know. I've tried pulling these apart with just my hands, and wasn't able to do it. There's that, which I just picked up yesterday. This is my new organization box there, which I don't have it all full yet, and I've got all these pockets and all my wrenches and sockets. And I keep all my spray cans and some silicone radios up there. But you have these as well. These are heat shrink butt connectors. So you treat it like a regular butt connector. And when you push the wire in on either side, you crimp it, and then take your heat gun, your lighter, butane torch, whatever, and heat that up, and the ends will shrink, and that becomes a watertight seal. And, of course, I have the assortment kit. That came from Harbor Freight as well. I think this came from Lowe's. Been a minute. And then we picked up, I actually ordered this online. This is a pickle bar. You know, the handles, various handles for either one of these pickle bars. This is only like $22 or $23 online on Amazon. I've yet to try it, but should do the trick for pressing the ball joints apart. I'm fixing to put all new front end on my my F350 pickup. All new ball joints, tie rods, axles, and which is what I needed this big jack for. I wanted to make sure I had something big enough and safe enough to pick that up, hold it up while I'm working underneath of it. Which I will be, that's going to pick it up. I'll put that right underneath the pumpkin, the front differential, pick the whole front end of the truck up, and then I will be blocking, I've got some 6x6 blocks that I'm going to block up under the frame. So even if that failed, which the truck weighs right at just almost 10,000 pounds for the truck. So, I mean, that jack way overrated for what I'm doing, but you always want to have a jack stand or some blocking underneath your vehicle when you're working under it. Better safe than sorry. Yeah. Anyhow, talk with y'all later.